Kathy, would you lead us in the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, Lord, we thank you. We thank you so much for this county. We thank you for the citizens, Lord. We just pray for those that are hurting in our community, that just need you and need your comfort, Lord. We pray that as we come to this table, we just ask for your wisdom and your guidance, that we are doing the best for the citizens of this county. We give you all the praise and glory. In your holy name, amen. Thank you. And welcome to our May 5th, our Cinco de Mayo Commissioners meeting.
There you go, speaking Spanish.
Yeah, well, directly after our May the 4th celebrations yesterday, Star Wars fans. We'd like to get started with the approval of the meeting minutes for May 2nd.
Sir, I'd make a motion that we approve the minutes of May the 2nd as submitted by our clerk.
I make a motion, or I will not second that.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting miscellaneous reports,
Any comments or questions on our miscellaneous reports? Hearing none.
Motion to accept.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation of funds,
Any comments or questions on the appropriations? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of approving policy for deposit of public monies for Scioto County regarding the Scioto County Treasurer,
This agreement between U.S. Bank and National Bank located and doing business in Scioto County through an office located in Portsmouth, Ohio, and Scioto County Commissioners, whereby the county accepts the bank's offer to serve as the public depository during the period from October 22 of 21 to October 21st of 25. Under this agreement, the subdivision will appoint U.S. Bank as its depositories and will deposit all eligible funds. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of accepting grant and award from the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Office of Criminal Justice Services regarding Sheriff's Department for body cameras.
This is Sheriff Grant Award with the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Office of Criminal Justice, in the amount of $15,378.75, with a match of $5,126.25 for body cameras. As always, we appreciate Sheriff Thurman and his efforts in finding grants, especially when it's for items that's going to protect our men and women on the front line. So thank you, Sheriff Thurman. Any additional comments or questions regarding this grant award? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution regarding the expenditure of American Rescue Plan fiscal recovery funds regarding Scioto County Children's Services, and this is an amendment.
This is a continuation of the original resolution we made, up to $2 million to support children's services and their financial situation. This is, we've already expended $730,000. Is the second request elsewhere? This is just a resolution changing how they have to request that funding, correct?
Yes.
So this is changing some language in there in terms of how they request. They still have to come to us to request it, but currently it's set up where we have to do a resolution every time they come to us. But the original intent of the resolution was up to $2 million, and then they just make the request for appropriations. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
I make a motion to adopt the resolution.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of request for appropriation transfer funds,
Any comments or questions on the transfers? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution establishing a fund for the 2022 Scioto County Township Highway improvements regarding the Scioto County Engineering Department.
Any comments or questions on this fund establishment? Hearing none?
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of change order for Scioto County Engineer for Scioto County Road 540, 0.53 Barclay Road Extension 2.
This is a change order for the Barclay Road extension, roadway construction, earthwork, drainage, subgrant work, paving, stripping, finish. The following change orders has to do with the material for this activity, and it's actually, Jen, it's actually a decrease, is that right?
A decrease of $753.
Okay, so it's a decrease of $753, or just a change in how much cubic yard of material, and just the math is going to save $700 in this change order.
Okay.
Any comments or questions?
The big issue is taking the embankment out, since we're not running the Daytona 500 out there. That removes 54 cubic yards of dirt. So,
Right.
definitely. The fact, the original project was a ODOT project, so you have to put embankments in, which has been an impediment actually with SOAR. Since this does not have state funds wrapped up into it, we were able to take the embankment out, which will not be as much fun, but it'll be better. So hopefully we don't have anybody speeding through an industrial park. But anyways, that was the main reason for it. And if there's no other comments, Kathy?
No.
Okay.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve then.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter request for fund transfers.
Any comments or questions on our fund transfers? Hearing none?
Motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of 2022 Prevention, Retention, and Contingency Plan, Tanf Summer Youth Edition regarding the Scioto County Job and Family Services.
This is the 2022 Prevention, Retention, Contingency Plan, TANF Summer Youth Program. Ages 14 to 18 who are enrolled in school to earn wages and subsidies. This allows for the development of work history and provides a current reference from an employer. Youth will gain valuable work experience while earning a paycheck to help meet their basic needs. Any comments or questions? I know a lot of kids benefit from this every year. It's always a great program. If you have youth looking for summer work, this is a great place to go. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
That sounded like a pitch for JNFS there a little bit, and CAO. So
It did. Hopefully with
they just happen to be in the room. I don't
hopefully
know. It
with
sounded pretty
this
good.
presentation.
Yeah.
Cover that.
Yeah.
I want to keep bothering you about that now.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of notification from the Ohio Department of Taxation regarding 2022 first quarter casino revenue.
This is our first quarter casino revenue in the amount of $263,430.14. This is an increase of $32,801.94 over the previous quarter of 21. Any comments or questions? Hearing none?
Motion to accept.
Second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of amending the resolution setting the rate for mileage reimbursement for county employees.
We took action on this item a week or so ago. This is setting the mileage rate for employees to .585 per mile. We needed to correct some language in that resolution reflecting the IRS language for mile reimbursement. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of resolution to transfer funds from the Medicaid local sales tax transition fund to the general fund regarding Brownfield remediation.
This project has been ongoing, widely discussed. This is the Brownfield project in New Boston, the code plan. As we've discussed previously, we're trying to get some of the Brownfield money that came through the legislator with the signature of the governor to clean up these dirty sites throughout the state of Ohio. We have arguably the dirtiest site up there. And this is setting aside $1,246,331.98, and we would be moving this from our MCO sales tax to the general fund, and that the same amount would be appropriated to the capital improvement fund for the DoD Brownfield Remediation Program upon the approval of the grant fund, and will be established for the grant, and funds will be transferred to the said fund. So this is taking action to move money from the MCO to the general fund to set aside for the grant match for this multi-million-dollar project to clean that dirt. And I want to thank Commissioner Coleman, Commissioner Davis. The reason we still have MCO funds has nothing to do with me, but the reason we still have MCO funds is because when these funds were set aside, a lot of counties went out and spent this money. And it's gone, and we're probably one of the only counties that still have MCO funds set aside, and it was wise because now in times like these we have money to match these very large opportunities, once in a lifetime, quite honestly, opportunities. So thank you for your foresight and your just being conservative with the money we're given, that we can move forward on something like this many years later. Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of approving payment of the regular schedule of accounts for the various funds, moral obligations, and the then and now certificates, in the total amount of $812,041.16.
Any comments or questions on the docket? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of compliance with competitive bidding or other procurement regulations for MOUs, contracts, and agreements proposed to be paid for by American Rescue Plan Funds Revenue Replacement category.
This resolution sets up compliance with competitive bid and our other procurement regulations that are linked to ARPA funds. And then it would also require any contractor or organization that we're utilizing these funds to follow the same regulations. Any comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
In the matter of amendment to building lease between Scioto County Board of Commissioners and Scioto County Job and Family Services regarding 710 Court Street, Portsmouth, Ohio.
This is a building lease between Commissioners and JFS located at 17 Court Street. And this is to amend the contract effective June 7th of 22 and extend the contract through June 6th of 23 as specified in the original contract. All other terms of the contract will remain the same. Any comments or questions?
Is there a reason why we're only doing a year?
Is that all
Can
that was
not-
requested?
Can we not go
I
out
mean,
to
that's-
5 years on that?
I would assume that we could, but, I mean, that's all they requested.
I mean, it's
so-
not like we're gonna kick JNFS out of their building.
Anytime soon?
I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I mean, I just
I
don't.
think the original contract may have been longer, and then they have yearly that they can extend it. But I'd have to pull the original one to see for sure.
Okay, I'm fine
That's
with
probably what
approving
it
it. It's
is.
just, I think,
Yeah,
instead of revisiting it every year, I don't think
Sure.
we need to do that.
yeah.
For
We can
Job
look
Family
into it.
Services. So they would probably appreciate knowing that they're
Yeah.
gonna be there for a while.
True.
So, okay, alrighty.
Any additional comments or questions? Hearing none.
Motion to approve.
I'll second.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye.
And what we've all been waiting for. In the matter of resolution
You don't have to sit through
congratulating
everything else.
congratulating Eric's Propane on their 70th anniversary.
We are joined Eric's Propane. We do have a resolution. I'll read the resolution, and then should you guys agree with it, we'll take a vote, and then we'll do pictures, okay? So this is, whereas Eric's Propane opened its doors in 1952, 70 years ago, to serve the tri-state community with the same values they began with, and whereas Eric's Propane started their business with a used pickup truck and a kitchen table to serving hundreds of their neighbors all across the tri-state area of Ohio, Kentucky, and West Virginia, and whereas their dedication to honesty, fairness, and service has set them apart and has built strong relationships between them and the communities they serve, and whereas through the good and tough times and with the strength of the business and its owner, Eric's Propane has preserved. And whereas Eric's Propane is an indispensable and integral part of the community, now therefore it be resolved that the Board of County Commissioners, Sauter County, Ohio, congratulates Eric's Propane as it celebrates 70 years of exemplary service and dedication to the community on this, the 28th day of April in the year of our Lord, 2022. Congratulations. Can we get an official motion and a second on this resolution?
I will make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman.
Aye.
Mr. Davis.
Aye.
Mr. Powell.
Aye. Gentlemen, you would like to come up, and we'll present you with the resolution. And if you have any words you would like to share, feel free to come up. Congratulations very much. We'll get you over here in the middle. Congratulations.
Nathan, you want to join us? And Ryan probably take
Is he the picture guy? Oh, come on, Ryan can take the picture. Get out here.
Face for radio.
Face for radio. I'm looking at.
All right.
Congratulations.
Very good. Thank you.
If you have any words you'd like to share about Eric's or?
Well, my grandfather started the business in 1952, and my father is now the owner, and my brother-in-law and I are now a third generation. So to be that long in this county and to be able to continue the business is a huge blessing to us, and we appreciate you guys recognizing us today.
Well, we appreciate your continued investment into our community, into our neighbors and our friends.
And I know you continue to grow too. Yeah.
The leadership, leadership from the commissioners and from the county. I mean, obviously it's where the business started. So we're thankful for you guys continuing to lead the county. And grateful for the citizens of Sauter County and surrounding counties as the business has grown and spread out. So been very good, but we appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Excellent.
Awesome. Thanks so much for coming in, guys.
Thank you. Thanks. All right. We move from the green shirts to the red and blue shirts.
From the green team to the red team. And you'll know what we're talking about here in a second. We're joined with our friends from CAO.
Okay. In the matter of resolution proclaiming May 2022 as Community Action Month in Sauter County, Ohio.
All right, we have a resolution. Would you like to read this one? I just read the last one.
It's really up to you.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I'll hand it over.
Kind of reading is hard, right?
Well, I've shared a lot, I guess.
The matter resolution proclaiming May 2022 as Community Action Month in Sauter County, Ohio, is moved by Mr. Davis and seconded by Ms. Coleman that the following resolution be adopted. Whereas community action connects individuals and families to approaches that help them succeed and promotes community-wide solutions to challenges throughout Sauter County, and whereas CAO of Sauter County builds and promotes economic stability as an essential aspect of enabling and enhancing stronger communities, which in turn promotes self-sufficiency, ensuring that all Americans are able to live in dignity. And whereas CAO of Sauter County connects millions of children and families to greater opportunity, transforming their lives and making our communities and our nation stronger. And whereas community action serves 99% of America's counties and rural, suburban, and urban communities, offering life-changing services that create pathways to prosperity by connecting families to job training, affordable housing, utility assistance for seniors, promoting community-wide solutions, and sharing expertise. And whereas community action will continue to implement innovative programs that create a greater chance at success for everyone, will continue to focus on a broader range of community challenges to ignite economic growth and ensure all families can benefit and will continue to be a voice for the disenfranchised. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of County Commissioners, Sauter County, Ohio, do hereby proclaim that May 2022 as Community Action Month in Sauter County in recognition of the hard work and dedication of the Community Action Organization of Sauter County on this 5th day of May in the year of our Lord 2022. As to such action, each member voted aye.
Hopefully.
Yes.
Can I get
Will.
a motion?
Yes, absolutely. I'll make a motion that we adopt this resolution.
And I'll second.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye. And I think Luann has a presentation for us. Steve couldn't make it, unfortunately. Steve's surgery. Do you have? Oh, you don't have a presentation. That is.
We do.
If you'd like to come up, though, we'd love to present you with the resolution. Or should we come down front?
Yeah.
We'll come down front since there's more of you. And if you want to share any information about CAO, then,
Before or after?
well, we can go ahead and take a picture. I'm sure that's probably what we're looking for.
Mr. Chairman.
Oh, sure.
Go ahead.
We can get some folks over here.
We'd love to stand out. Can you get everybody in?
Just a couple of brief comments.
Okay, so we'll have you go to the podium, we'll go back to the chair.
Okay.
And that way Ryan can get the camera on you and everybody can hear all the
Since our
wonderful
fair-
things CAO's working on.
Since our fearless leader isn't here today,
We'll forgive you.
and I talk a lot, but not as much as him. Thank you all for supporting National Community Action Month. I just wanted to point out that throughout our 57-year history within Scioto County, our agency has touched the lives of thousands of families who reside in the area. We couldn't do that without our dedicated, hardworking staff within the agency, our partners throughout the community, and the support of our local elected officials. So we really do appreciate all the support that you give us, and thank you for joining us in celebrating National Community Action Month. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. It's nice to have a room full of people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's nice, and of course, thank you so much for the work you guys do. You touch so many lives, as you said, so many lives across the spectrum. I mean, you kind of touch them from birth to golden years. So we appreciate all the work and continued work that you guys do. It's much needed in the community. You're definitely making a huge impact. So thank you. We have no more items, that takes us to questions on the agenda. Any questions on the agenda? Nothing from Betty, nothing from Ryan. Any questions not on the agenda? We have some from Betty, all right.
All right.
Please hold the microphone, Betty. Thank you.
Well, off the agenda, please update us on the work release program. Remind folks how it works and who qualifies. Who decides who will receive work release? The county has to pay for thousands and other people's fines. Why can they not work off their bills instead of having taxpayers pay their fines?
I'm not sure that I understand what the question.
I think I do.
Okay, go ahead.
Sure. Work release, of course, was started, golly, when did we start that back up? It was 2019, it was 2020. It was 2020 because I remember it was right at the beginning of COVID, which worked really well for us. But because we couldn't get any inmates out. It was right before COVID. We started having some success, and unfortunately, because of COVID, the jail was locked down, and Star was locked down, and a lot of our workers, prospective workers, weren't able to work. Of course, then probation also was pretty much the same way. You couldn't utilize people because we didn't want people in congregate settings. So anyways, how it works is it's usually, well, it's always a low-level nonviolent offender, either in jail or a probationer also. Could be somebody on house arrest as well that is allowed to go out. And the whole point behind work release is to reduce jail time and or fines. If we have individuals that say they can't pay their court-related fees or fines, a lot of times the excuse is, I don't have a job. Okay, well, we have work for you, and the work is to go out and do community service. A lot of times that community service is cleaning roads and alleys, and we've been doing a lot of that here in Portsmouth as well. I know some people ask, why are you doing Portsmouth? Well, Portsmouth sits in the middle of Sauter County, so it is very much a part of Sauter County. We are symbiont beings, and it's very important that we work together, but there are a lot of places that need cleaned up, a lot of alleyways especially. It's really bad. So we work in conjunction with Portsmouth, with their code enforcement officer, Andy Gideon, as well, to identify places that need clean. And we have our common pleas constables that actually control that, and some of the common pleas workers, they'll go out, and we always have someone that's armed on these work release patrols, and they are monitored very closely. We've got a lot of work out of work release. It's pretty incredible. The idea is hopefully there's a work ethic that's created through that process, because not only do we pick up trash, but we've also done some other great things for Sierra's Haven, Greenlawn Cemetery, areas that we've cleaned up and helped maintain. We did some ball field fences in Willersburg a couple weeks ago. So, painting. So, I mean, there's all kinds of things that can be done. And, so that's what we're trying to do. I think it kind of explains the second part of that question. Why can't they do that? They can. And that's what we're doing. Not everyone's eligible for work release, unfortunately, but, because really if it's a violent, or it's say a felony 1, 2, 3, you don't want to take those people out. But usually it's someone that's near the end of their time in incarceration, or it's a probationer that's been ordered to do community service, and we take those out and we do the work, and they do a great job. Common Police Court does a great job. Portsmouth Municipal Court is also part of that, so it takes a lot of cooperation between the Sheriff's Department. We fund it, and then Portsmouth Municipal Court and Common Police Court, they coordinate all of that. So we go out as often as possible, and the judges are the ones that make the decisions. That's the other part of the question. I was trying to remember what it was. The judges make the decisions on who's eligible. So, and they work with us really well. The whole idea is to try to cut down on money spent in jail. If it's a low-level offender, if we can offer a way for them to pay down their time, then why not, And so we try to reduce the cost to the taxpayer that way. So it's a worthwhile program. Yeah. So.
All right. Any other questions? No other questions?
Wow.
Making it easy on us, on Cinco de Mayo.
You can answer
Any
in
comments or
Spanish.
questions, or any comments?
I do.
Okay, great.
I just want to take a moment to congratulate my co-commissioners, Brian Davis and Scotty Powell, on their primary election. And I just want to tell them how blessed I am to have them sitting here with me, and they're hardworking. I just can't say enough about them. They're hardworking, they're so intelligent, and they're honest and loyal to this county, and I cannot tell you the hours they put in. And I'm just thankful to have you here. And as we look forward to November, we'll see you then as well.
Thank you for this kind of
Thank
words.
you.
Yeah.
Yes,
Thank you.
I'm
Kathy.
very blessed.
Kathy keeps us in our lane. That's the best way to put it. She definitely does that. So appreciate those words. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Davis.
Maker's Market. this weekend. Has anybody talked about that? That's happening this Friday and Saturday. I think it's down at Shawnee State, right? Is that right? There, somewhere at Shawnee State, and apparently it's local vendors and creator, you know, different people that make stuff. Makers Market, yeah, it works. But encourage everyone to come down to that. That is tomorrow, starting tomorrow from 5 to 8, and then Saturday. Help me out here.
I'm looking it up. May 6th.
It's 2 days.
Starts at 3 p.m. and then May 7th it says at 3 p.m. So I'm trying to dig through here for you.
No conception.
Okay, May 6th from 5 to 8.
Yeah.
May 7th from 10 to 3. There you go.
Yeah, but you get to see what local vendors are doing. People that are making things locally. It's a great. I think it's part of the Innovation Hub's innovation series. It's what they're doing down there. So anybody looking for something to do Friday and Saturday in Portsmouth and Scioto County, head down to Makers Market. Get to meet some great people, and should be a fun time. And just want to remind everybody, the splash pad opens on Monday. All right, and the weather is cooperating. It's going to be beautiful next week, and it's going to be in the 80s. So get down there, check out the splash pad. A lot of interest in that, and make sure you, moms, dads, make sure you take bikes with you. Enjoy the pump track while you're down there. Get a 1-2 punch there with things to do. And the park looks amazing. Brian Howard and his team have done a great job. And I'd like to mention also that in 2022, we are looking to redo the restrooms down there at Earl Thomas County Park, which is going to be great. So we're looking into that now to redo those. Of course, the restrooms at the splash pad are good; they're great. But the old ones down by the playground need updated big time. So we're going to be doing that, and yeah, things are looking good. We're looking at new lighting for the park. The lighting is vintage. It's 30 years old in a lot of places, so we have to be replacing that with new updated equipment, and we're working on quotes for that, and hopefully we'll be able to do something soon. We want to light up the pump track, splash pad. I kind of have visions of night parties, pool. You know how they used to do the pool parties and stuff like that? I think splash pad, you know, have specific nights. Younger kids have specific nights for teens. I think that'd be fun. Play music, have a good time. Kind of takes you back to your childhood, you know. So having things like that, lighting up the tennis courts, lighting up the basketball court, lighting up different things so that people can enjoy the park later in the evening, especially later in the year. It'll definitely, it gets dark a lot earlier, and it kind of dampers what can be done in the park. But if we light up the recreational opportunities, you know, just keep on going until 9, you know, and it'd be great. So looking at that, hopefully we'll be able to move on that too. So just trying to make it, give people things to do. And I know sometimes when fall comes, it gets dark early. Everybody's like, there's nothing to do after dark, you know. And, you know, kind of bums you out, but this will definitely improve things. So we'll be able to do more down at the park. So excited about that.
I might add, too, that we're in the process of purchasing aquatic projects for those who may be handicapped, adults and children alike. So we'll let you know as soon as those arrive.
Yeah.
So everyone can enjoy it.
Yeah, because the splash pad's ADA compliant, except for wheelchairs. You can't use motorized wheelchairs, of course, because of the water. But these, you just maneuver through, and it'd be great, you know, for anyone to be able to enjoy it. So.
Well, thank you for your efforts on that.
Yeah, thank you.
Some and Kathy's really been researching and looking at into how do we make our recreation more ADA friendly, and the splash pad's been an area of, well, how do you do that? There's different water chairs that you can utilize. So I think it'll be a welcome addition down there. So thank you for that.
Yes, I know they're working on the base for the walking path. I don't know if everybody knows, but they're building a 1 mile walking, biking trail around the upper rim of the park. So you'll be able to go by all of the features, all the things that there are to do, and it'll go around where the shelter houses are. But it's a 1 mile track, and you'll be able to bike, you'll be able to walk on it. Some people will run on it, and you know, I'm kind of envisioning not just people that do that regularly, but also, you know, moms and dads while their kids are at the splash pad, they can walk the trail or do whatever they want to just to stay occupied. I don't know, just more things to do. And right now it's gravel. We'll get the base down. We'll get it tamped down really good. If you go by right now, you'll see the front part of the park. They're working on it right now. And then we're going to be paving that. So it'll be nicely paved, and we'll get the trail marked, and everybody will know, how far they are in the mile, and they can do more than one loop. So, and it's pretty level. It really is. It's pretty level. So it'll be nice. It'll be nice. So we're going to get that done here before long. Has Brian said anything about that as far as the bidding out? We got to bid out that asphalt.
Yeah, he spoke to me about that. He wants to bid out the asphalt and then also potentially link it to the parking lot project as well. There at the splash pad, kind of make it all one project.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For the walking trail, we got a $50,000 Nature Works grant through ODNR. It'll pay a large portion of it, but the parking lot will be extra.
Yeah.
But what'll be nice is we'll be able to apply that $50,000 to doing the trail, so that'll definitely offset the cost. The whole idea is to give people more things to do, and this will definitely help. So adding the kayaking, working together, ODNR, of course the river camp, what they're doing down at Shawnee, when that eventually opens in its entirety, there's going to be a lot more to do in Sauter County. So, and there's a lot of private investment going on too, and that's exciting as well.
Is that all? No, appreciate it. A couple things. So we will be canceling our meeting on June 2nd. I know 2 of us will not be here that week. But I'll propose, and we can vote on this later, that we add our quarterly meeting that very following Tuesday to make up for that meeting.
Quarterly evening
meeting, so we could do that way. If there's anything urgent that needs to go through, that would be the 7th if we decide to vote on that. We can discuss more next week, but I did want people to have it on their calendar, like, hey, there's not going to be a commissioners meeting June 2nd, and then whether or not how we make up that meeting and make sure that nothing gets missed. So probably the next week on a Tuesday makes the most sense. And then I also have some exciting news to share about the Fifth Third building. A lot of questions have been about the Fifth Third building, what's going on there. This board has empowered me to talk to folks that might be interested in that property. The city of Portsmouth is very interested in that property. We're well aware that they abandoned plans, or not necessarily this council, but just the thought that the Martins building was the solution for a city building at the cost of $18 million to build it out. It just wasn't feasible to do that. City council has since taken the steps to move that property to SOPA for a private investment. In the meantime, they have a space finding committee that's still very interested in finding a solution for the city and for their offices. And as we were purchasing the Fifth Third building, that committee was interested in that property, so they empowered Sam Sutherland to come to me and say, hey, is this something that we would be willing to do, and to essentially help them with that property. It's a great space for them. It brings all of that excitement and all those employees downtown Chillicothe Street, which is now being paved. It's going to potentially breathe life into Chillicothe Street, especially should we choose to go that route and allow them to go in that space. Now, they do have the money to buy outright. They could. But at the same time, I think it's important for us to be mindful that they are still in fiscal watch, and if there's a way that we can help them maintain their general fund while they're going through that process, is there a way to be a good neighbor and help them with that. So Sam and I have been talking back and forth. I think it would be wise, and what I'll propose, nothing we vote on today, he still has to talk to council. It is a 10-year lease to them. Not charge them any extra money, because once again, as Commissioner Davis pointed out, the city is still part of the county, and as the city goes, so does the county go. But if we can be good neighbors and help them with their space issues, get them down to the Esplanade, and give them some breathing room financially to get off fiscal watch, I think all of those steps make sense. For me anyway, since they've moved the Martins building, the Martins Foundation has set aside, I think it's $1.4 million. $1.4 million that they can use towards the renovation or building of a new facility. So should City Council choose to go this path, they already have some funding in place to get that space available for them. I know City Manager Sam Sutherland, their engineer, Bill Toole, the building code engineer,
That's state
has been through the building. They've looked at it. It meets their needs. They're very pleased with the current shape of the building, and they see it as a solution to upgrade their facilities, to move energy into our downtown area, or as you call it, the uptown area, however you want to, uptown area, and then basically revitalize Chillicothe Street. And then the next step of that is all of a sudden you have the most valuable piece of land in Portsmouth, sitting down by where the current building sits. It's going to be available for somebody potentially to come in and develop it. That's up for the city to decide who gets that, but that move all of a sudden clears up a very real opportunity for big investment for the city of Portsmouth. Something I want to put out there, I believe Sam's going to be talking to City Council on Monday about the conversations he and I have had. I've spoke to a couple members of City Council as well. It seems that there's a strong interest in doing this, and it meets their needs, and basically it gets them to where they need to be. It's 65,000 square feet compared to whatever they're in now. They can liquidate some of the property and consolidate. So it's an exciting proposition. Nothing that we need to vote on today. It's something to consider, because City Council has to have their conversations to see what where they're at with it. Sam has to present to them as well. But a lot of people's been saying, "What's going on there? What's going on there?" I'm sure it's a rehab. I just know it's a rehab. I bet you, hot dogs and donuts, it's a rehab. I don't know if that's a real bet or not, but did we hear that rehab's organizations was looking at that building? We've heard that, and I think that's one of the reasons that I was in support of securing that asset for future economic development. Now, does this look the same? Is this the same vision as the original vision? No, not necessarily, but getting the city workers downtown will still revitalize that area. It will still generate energy. It'll still create economic development of people wanting to build and be in proximity to. And then with whatever's going on with the Martins building, we could potentially have a couple multi-million-dollar projects happening across the street from each other in Portsmouth, Ohio. And I don't know a year ago that anybody would ever believe that or think that or see that. And I think it just goes to the relationship we have with the city. People want to say we don't have a strong relationship with the city. We do. We talk with the city quite often, and where we can help, we should. So I just want to put that out there. If there's any questions that either one of you might have regarding this potential project, I know it's going to be presented to City Council on Monday.
Well, I just want to thank you for letting the public that's listening in to what's going on there, because I know that you hear through social media, why would we purchase the bank building? And as you see now, it ties directly into economic development, and we hope with this, just as you said, maybe those streets down the street, all those storefronts, and will be filled with restaurants or just a number of things like it was in the days gone by. So very thrilled about this prospect.
I think it's a positive move for the city. The building they're currently in is worn out. It's done. They'll tell you that the current city building has seen its. No, it's not healthy. And in talking with other councilmen, city councilmen, they're very excited about this prospect. One of the things I see is the fact that you're now going to have the county and the city within 2 blocks of each other. You're going to have legal professionals that work both courts that are going to literally be able to walk from building to building now. That's going to be advantageous. Plus, it's also going to hopefully drive occupancy into the PNC Bank building and the Masonic Temple, where they'll be more apt to want to occupy those areas. We've also had a out-of-town bank that's never located here before, a regional bank, contact us interested in the Citizens Bank building. So, you know, it is sitting empty now. So those are the kind of things when you make these kind of decisions, that if you build it, they will come. In this case, if you buy it, they'll come. And if you show interest in your downtown and you show investment in your downtown, people that are apt to spend money will do so. So this will put, hopefully, and I hope the city does move forward. I really do, because it used to be Government Square, and if anybody's old enough to remember, I'm not, but I remember the history. I remember reading it. That was Government Square. At one time, you had the city building, and you had the post office there nearby. So at one time, that was where all the action was, right in the heart of town. So uptown, hopefully, is going to see some more action, more people, and I think it'll attract more investment into that area. We're already, I know in speaking with Robert in economic development, he's already hearing some interest, but in talking to the other councilmen, I know in talking to Councilman Stanley, he told me that Bill Toole's review of the building was very positive.
Good.
He thought it would be a very good investment, very good purchase. Of course, we had done some initial looking at it ourselves, and I know the city had their engineer, I think, look at it at one point. But he's saying that the rehab cost for it, as far as fixing it up, could be around $2 million, somewhere around there. You know, they're getting 1.4, so it's not a stretch. You know, the other consideration we had for the city for not just trying to sell it was, you know, they're also looking at a large water plant project right now. And that's been in the paper. They've discussed it. I think it's $67 million to build a new water plant. I mean, it's a huge project. And so far, the funding for that plant, as far as grants, has not been that great. The response from the federal government, I don't know exactly what all they're doing to try to solicit, but I think they've only gotten like $4 million, maybe something like that. So,
I have a question real quick.
yes.
I just want to go back and clarify, so the city won't be paying rent on Fifth Third?
Yes, they're not going to purchase it.
So the current deal that myself and Sam's talking about is a 10-year lease to buy. So essentially, they'll project out the cost and make the payment every month for 10 years. It gives them breathing room versus that one-time, $418,000 investment. So
I would appreciate if anything, once it's negotiated, that there's that option to buy out with no penalty.
Absolutely.
I mean, especially if they sell that property on 2nd Street, and that's the other exciting part here. Having that property right next to the bridge. I know that there's been quotes on tearing that building down. They've looked at that possibility. That lot being right next to the bridge overlooking the Ohio River, I can see that being very, very interesting to developers. I really do. So hopefully that is what they'll see there. But once they sell that, they may want to go ahead and just buy out the lease. So whatever you negotiated, it would be great if that was included in there.
Yeah, definitely.
Not a demand too, but a suggestion too.
Yeah.
It'd be really nice and to be able to get that. So this is not a giant burden on the county. Again, we have positioned ourselves financially to be able to do these kind of things to spur economic development, and that's what this is. I personally, I really truly believe that it's going to be one more thing that will spur a renaissance in our downtown. We need it desperately. And if you see what Shawnee State's doing with their Gateway project, and I don't know how many have seen that. I don't know if it's been in the local paper or not, but I mean, what they're going to be doing with their new approach into the university, where they'll actually have a real entrance. If you go down there now, good luck trying to find the entrance to the university. There's not a real entrance. It's everywhere. And this will give them a real entrance. It'll become a landmark. And with their interest in moving up Chillicothe Street, you have entities at the top of Chillicothe Street. You have all the activity happening on 2nd Street. Then you have all these synergies. You have all this development happening all along this arc. And that's how you spur economic
Creek
growth.
renovation's a multi-million-dollar project too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, there's already big things happening. So to have the vision, to actually see the whole picture, I guess you call it the 30,000-foot level, to look down and see what's being planned and what's being looked at, it's very positive. And I think it's also, I'll say this, and I think it's very important for everybody to understand, it's really unprecedented. For many, many, many years, to see this kind of cooperation between city and county. I mean, for a long time, I felt it before I ever became commissioner, that there was this wall. There's this wall. This is, yeah, and it was like, this is our sandbox, and that's your sandbox, and don't play in my sandbox. And unfortunately, that's the way it was, I feel, for a very, very long time. And I've witnessed it, even since becoming commissioner, that you felt that way sometimes. But I will tell you that there is great interest in just speaking with different councilmen, in speaking with the city manager, and the solicitor, that there's a lot of energy, a lot of desire to work together to build. And I think that's all going to unfold. It's going to unfold quickly. And hopefully the city moves forward with it. And the other 20-ton elephant in the room is the Martins building. We haven't even mentioned it. And of course they voted last week to move that building to SOPA. And there is a developer, that's very involved and very interested in doing something with that building. So watch and see what happens there. We're bound on confidentiality on that because that is a private company looking to do that. And we actually have non-disclosure agreements with SOPA that we cannot discuss. But, the vision is you're going to have 2 large buildings with occupancy. Okay? Because, I will tell you, with Fifth Third leaving the building in June, we were going to be facing 2 empty buildings right next to each other, 2 large buildings. And it looks like the way it looks, it's going to be just the opposite. So it's very positive.
I'm going to ask to clarify something again.
Sure.
So that building will be sold no interest or profit, but it'll gain as far as...
That's not the intent that I have. We can discuss that, but there's no intent going from us to them. If we can help spur their project and economic development on Chillicothe Street, we all win. So, the county shouldn't be profiting off the city and vice versa. So, no intent there.
Something else I was thinking, when the governor came in and made his announcement the other day, 32 counties, Appalachian counties, would be receiving $500 million if it goes through legislation. And one of the 4 items that we could spend the money on is downtown.
Main Street
Development.
Yes, Main Street is what he called it, Main Street redevelopment. So it's just all falling into place and proud to be part of it.
Absolutely. And another, just for clarification, I think any lease would always involve them being responsible for any and all maintenance.
Yeah.
So if anybody questions that, that's not on us. Okay, that would be them handling all of that, because that can't be on our dime. If they're occupying the building, they're doing, any improvements to the building, anything like that would be on them. So just to clarify, because I know some people will get on there and say stuff.
And at this point, we don't have a lease drawn up. It's truly a conversation, and hey, would this work or not? And then something to present to council to see how interested they would be in moving forward with a similar plan. And then we'll, should they want to move forward, hammer out the actual lease, the document.
Real quick off the agenda, another dry eye in the house for Harley Elson's video. I don't think Todd done shared it with you guys, so.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Betty's referencing, and did you share the video online, Betty?
I did, yeah.
Harley Ellis, the Trout Derby, specific for the True Lord Trout Derby in honor of Harley Ellis. They put a video together. If you have time to watch that, it's very good. He got to meet the governor and present the governor with a couple items, and the governor presented him with the official challenge coin of the governor. So, yeah, thank you for your work on that, Betty, and of course Todd Dunn and the team out there. It was a great event. It's good to see Harley still getting recognition off of that. So, thank you.
Harley caught his 5-foot fish limit.
You might have caught more than 5.
I don't know. All I know is, here you go, Harley, and it was all day long. So might have been some of that going on. I don't know.
Well, if there's
He caught a lot of trout.
If there's no other comments, a lot of good things happening in the county right now. A lot of positive momentum, and it's exciting to see everything unfold. So, thank you, CAO, for joining us. Red team. And then we got Eric's team, green team. So we appreciate you guys showing up, and we appreciate all you do for the community. So thank you. With that, can we get a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
Ms. Coleman?
Aye.
Mr. Davis?
Aye.
Mr. Powell?
Aye. Thank you so much, everyone.